there, this is Lemon Girl Fresh coming to you from my new YouTube channel, Lemon Girl Fresh. The goal of this channel is to share with you fun, diverse, economical, vegan, vegetarian cuisine that can help you stay healthy inside and out and feel great doing it, knowing that you are not putting a huge damper on your budget. So just to get to the gist of everything, we're just gonna do a quick salad. One of the things that I love to do is fortify salads so that it's just not the usual fruits and veggies, tomato, things like that, but you can also add things to really give it the substance you need to eat this salad and not go back for other carb-loaded snacks, sugary snacks. You can be genuinely full with the help of water, of course. So the salad that I'm making is based off of the Baby Spring Mix. You can get this at Kroger, you can get this at Publix, you can get this at Walmart as well if you shop there, or you can get it at your local shop that you get your produce and lettuce from. But this is basically my base for my salad. The good news is even though it feels like it's not a lot in here, because I use so many other things with my salad, I end up stretching this lettuce pretty far throughout the week because, again, the salad is fortified with lots of vitamins and nutrients. So we're gonna start with that. But before we do anything, we need to set up our tofu. The tofu is the main protein. There's also a secondary protein that I add in, but the main protein comes from the tofu. So this is the tofu I use. As you can see, I love Kroger. If you are not from the South or anything of that nature, there might be a different a different store that you go to that will provide the kind of tofu that I get here. It's just organic. Whatever you get, just make sure that it's extra firm. So what I do here is I'm just gonna cut down like so, just on the edges, and then drain this out. So I'm gonna do that now. You're gonna get a lot of water that drains out if you've never used tofu before. And so the tofu comes out like this, okay? So here's my tofu. It's a very solid block of protein based off soy. And a lot of times what people like to do is they like to put plates and things like this on their tofu to let the water come out. So if you have the time to do that, that is great. If not, it's okay. If you're in a rush like I usually am, you will basically just cut right out of the bag. So my pieces are very thick. So I would say these are about half of an inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch, but they're very thick because as this cooks, you want to make sure you have enough meat in the tofu to absorb all the nutrients, all the flavors that you're adding to it. You do not want your tofu strips to come out like bacon. If bacon is what you're going for, that's great. But if you're going for a more grilled chicken type texture, you definitely want to make sure there's some meat to chew on there. So those are cut, and here's my skillet here. Usually what I put for the skillet is maybe a couple of tablespoons of olive oil, caps full of that, soy sauce or liquid Aminos, which is a natural soy sauce alternative. You just put that in there to give it some nice orient flavor. And of course, my favorite produce of the hour, lemons. So lemon, again, like I said in my description, really makes the flavor pop. So I put this in as well, and I just squeeze all that juice in there, all of it, as much as possible. If you have a lemon squeezer, you can do that as well. Again, I want videos that are down to earth and organic. Unfortunately, I've not gotten a lemon squeezer, and just because I don't have one doesn't mean I can't cook healthy. And so I want people to know that whatever they have at home, whatever utensils they have, they can still cook healthy without having all the fancy things and the fancy ingredients to do so. So this is ready, and what I'm going to do is just turn this on to about 375 to 400. Okay, so get that nice and rinsed in there, and I really don't care about timing. I'm just gonna let these strips sit in here, because then this will give us time to chat. So what I like to do is, especially when it's still cold, the pan is still cold, I like to kind of bathe my strips in the broth that I've created so that I can get some nice flavor on both sides. And during this process, everything's going to be sitting in here. So this is done. Now, it would be tempting to throw my lemon away, but again, I love lemon. So once you're done with this, a great way to stay hydrated is to take the lemon that you just used and squeezed out, put it in a glass, and get your water. Get some ice. And enjoy. I'm going to put this top on and just let that cook and keep an eye on it. Okay, so while that's cooking, let's talk a little bit. One of the main reasons why I'm very passionate about the vegan vegetarian diet is because even as a teenager, I noticed that my athletic performance as a student athlete was extremely different when I only partook of fruits and veggies. I had a clearer mind, I had more energy. It really didn't matter how much of it I ate. If I put fruits and veggies only in my system, whether it was an apple, some carrots, a salad, something really light, I was good for the entire game or the entire competition. And that really stuck with me. So even as I progressed through my late teen years and college years, I noticed that no matter what I tried to do or anything, this vegan diet was the best thing that I could do for myself. And I likened it to a car. You do not put certain type of fuels into a high-end car. If this type of car only takes premium unleaded, there is no reason to put unleaded in there and cause internal issues. I had to come to grips that I was that kind of machine, and the best thing I could do for myself was to eat the way that my body responded and meet the needs that my body needed. So, you know, as an educator, there's a lot on your plate to do. From day in and day out, you are multitasking all day long, you're giving yourself emotionally, and it can be very, very draining. So one of the things that I started to do was to release stress and things like that. I started doing triathlons, which are basically, you know, probably a fourth to a third of a mile of swimming in some open water. You get out of the water, you ride your bike for 12 or 10 to 14 miles, and then you get off your bike and you run anywhere from 2.5 to 3.2 miles of running, usually a 5K for the most part. So the more I started training and doing those things, my body was telling on me and telling me, hey, I know you're vegan, but the things you're putting in your body are still not cutting the mustard. There are things that you're eating, whether it's lots of carbs, sugar, potatoes, pasta, breads, things of that nature, that were hindering me from feeling incredibly clean and clear-headed from the inside out. And it really took a toll on me to a point where I started to just internally shut down because I was just not healthy. And things that I may have been able to handle before, I was no longer able to handle anymore. And so I had to make a change. So a lot of things that I'm doing are raw, and if they are cooked, again, they're whole fruits, veggies, and legumes. Very few grains. The grains I do have are usually superfood grains like quinoa or flax seeds or, you know, things like that, so that I can get the nutrients that I need. This is still cooking. Don't worry. It's going to take a while for that to cook. Okay? So that's what I'm doing. And honestly, the foods that I put together, they are just so healthy for you. They're so brain-centered. They really take care of what's up here and also your blood. So those things are what keep you healthy, especially your heart. I was already doing lots of exercise, but it was the food portion and the lack of nutrients and even dehydration that was preventing me from having the best body that I could have. So that's kind of the backstory as to why I'm doing what I'm doing. And the other thing is, I feel like as educators, just being in the profession for 5 years, we are fed so many unhealthy things, whether it's pizza, cookies, ice cream, barbecue, just fried this, fried that, buttered everything. There's cake all the time in the faculty dining, sodas, coffee, barely any fruits or veggies or water. And the minute you ask for anything healthy, that's just not what they're offering to us. But we're expected to be very versatile in our thinking with kids and be open-minded, fresh, and ready to go every day. But this is the kind of dietary culture that's being pushed on educators. They're just not healthy, and they're eating all this stuff that's not good for them. And a lot of teachers have been coming to me, and after talking with me about, you know, things I've been doing, they're like, what's your secret? And, you know, what kind of foods do you eat? I really want to be vegan, but I just don't know how to do it. So that's where, honestly, this came from, was me really making an effort to hone in on the things I was doing in my diet and then sharing them with just people that ask me day to day. Okay, so what we're going to do right now is go ahead and prep our salad so that we can clear the table for things once this tofu is ready. It's going to take a while for the tofu to cook. So I'm just putting a mixture of these. And again, this is salad you can make for yourself, for your family. You can also make one for tomorrow's lunch, which is something I really love. I eat this salad almost every day. I never get bored of it because there's just so many things in it. Your brain is just firing with flavor and sweet, savory, you name it. So it's really good, really good. Drink break. So I'll just kind of walk through some of the things I put in my salad to support the tofu as well. Garbanzo beans. Garbanzo beans are a great protein. These are also from Kroger. You can get them dry or canned, organic, whatever you want. No matter what I do, I usually rinse them really well and then just let them sit for a minute. They are really high in protein, 6 grams of protein. They have some iron, 40% or 40 milligrams of calcium. Potassium is 230 milligrams. Lots of fiber and very low fat. So I usually do these. Now, thankfully, I used a can last night to make my lunch this morning. And so I already have half a can open. So I'm not going to use a full can. I really do like to split things because, again, even though you're eating healthy, portion control is very, very, very important. So I'm finishing this off. It's already been rinsed. And so I add these in. They're delicious. And that's going to be trashed. The next thing I'm going to add is my tomato. So just going to slice this. I usually use 1 tomato per salad or per person. If I know I'm going to have more than one person, I'll add another tomato. But I think keeping in mind the servings of fruits and veggies that you're supposed to get, I think it best to always just do one whole serving of whatever you're doing. So that's that. Never go wrong with tomatoes. I do a little handful of orange. These carrots are great. The more colorful your salad, the healthier, the more broad the nutrients you're going to get. I love cilantro. So again, adding this just gives a lot of flavor, something different to add to make the flavors in your salad pop. And as I do these and add them to the salad, I'm going to put them away. It's always nice to clean up as you go so that you don't have a huge stack of dishes to do later on. It really, really helps. Gonna have this ready for when it's time to flip. Let's see what they look like right now. Okay, I don't know if you can see that, but we are getting a little golden brown. Usually I cook these until it's like a rough kind of sandpaper feeling on the back of these. And so it might take a while for that to happen, but the good news is it is happening. It's just going to take a moment to get that rough sandpaper texture on the back. But taking time and waiting for that to happen is really important so that you can really enjoy the texture of your tofu. The next thing I'm going to add is my fat. Fat is important, and it is important to have good fat. My healthcare provider strongly advises that I have half a serving of fat with every meal. Usually I only eat 2 meals. And so I usually split my avocado for half a serving of fat in the morning or during my lunch, and then the other half for the dinner meal or the late afternoon meal. Okay, again, this adds lots and lots of texture to your salads, that as you're biting down on the vegetables that are acidic and fresh and cold and also kind of rough, you also have this creamy texture of the avocado to add to it. Again, filling up your belly so that when you eat this, you truly are full. Now, we're not done yet. There are more things to add to this salad to assist you in being full once you finish eating. Walnuts. I told you that I really love brain healthy food. Walnuts are great for your brain. They have 188 milligrams of potassium. They're high in protein with 4 grams. Fiber is pretty good. Calcium and iron as well. And very low in sugar, but also gives off that nutty flavor. So again, I'm just going to take a light handful, just a few, very small. As you can see, I just want to make sure the contrast is there. Crush them in my hand and just sprinkle them all throughout, just to give that texture there. And then also I have dried cranberries. Now, this is probably the only part that has the sugar in it, but to be honest, you can also use the non-sugar added cranberries. I've used those before and they're great. It really doesn't matter to me. I like the tart of the cranberries, dried cranberries. Really good. So those are being added. I think we are getting close to flipping time for the tofu. Okay, so if you notice here with the tofu, it's almost starting to become porous. Okay, when it starts to look airy and light at the top, that is when you're ready to flip. And if you feel there is a nice brown or sandpaper texture on my tofu. Okay, so I'm flipping these over now that they're ready. I really like this pan because it evenly cooks. I don't have to worry about putting it over a certain part of my stove because the stove is not working, and so it's really perfect for tofu. So just your basic skillet from whatever store you go to will be more than sufficient to prep these so that you're not having to worry about how evenly your pieces are going to be cooked. Okay. So just to add more flavor here, I might add some more lemon juice. I'll add a little bit of the Aminos and just a drop of oil, not a lot, just that I can keep things lubricated within the pan. Okay, and we're going to flip those back over. Now, this is important. This is my favorite part and the most crucial part of the salad. Flaxseed. I started adding this to my salads. I also started adding this to smoothies, even sauces that had no need for any of flaxseed in them, just to fortify what I was eating, so that when I did eat something, I was full faster. Got the nutrients I needed, but full faster. So with this, I'm going to probably do about 2 tablespoons of flax seeds. So 1 and 2. I'm very liberal with these. Gives a great nutty flavor. That's going to stay there. Okay, so our salad is ready to go. Just good right there. And we're just waiting on the tofu. Okay, so I'm just going to cover this for the time being and move some things out of the way. So I'm done with the flaxseed. I'm still going to need the aminos. I will need the salad dressing later. What I'm really going to focus on right now is the marinade for my tofu. To prep this really well so that once the tofu is ready, I'm ready to toss and put in my salad. Okay. Now, here is the bowl I'm going to use to make my marinade. And it's first going to start with this delicious private selection Kroger premium, whatever you want to call it, Memphis inspired barbecue sauce. This is a balanced sweet and tangy sauce with accents of smoke and rich spices. And the thing that makes this the most attractive to me is that it does not have high fructose corn syrup. So I just pour this in. I really don't do a lot. I want to say that's probably a tablespoon. I want to make sure you can see what I'm adding. I have lots of lemon that I'm going to add. So just going to squeeze that in there. Definitely going to be working on getting the squeezer soon. You go to the store so many times and you forget some very essential items. Okay, I also like Mrs. Dash. Mrs. Dash is very good. It's salt-free, does not have any sodium in it. All it is just dried herbs. So it's awesome. I'm also going to use the amino acids and then do a dash of the following. So we're going to add some ground cumin. We got granulated garlic. Gonna have some really bold flavors with the sauce. And paprika. Yes. So these are done, again, clearing the table as you finish with things. And I'm going to take this lovely mixture here and just mix it all together. Just get it all uniform. Looks really good. This is really going to be great. And it's not a lot, but this flavor goes a long way. So let's check on our tofu. Tofu looks ready. Probably give it a few more moments. Still a little soft on the bottom. Give it a little bit more time. It's looking real good though. Yeah. Get a little bit more time. So while that's happening, happening, we're going to go ahead and just clear everything up. I'm going to need this knife. I'm going to get this done here. Put these away. Again, I'm not just doing the cleaning up for show. Again, the complaint is that cooking this way is really time consuming. By the time you're done, you don't feel like doing anything. So while everything's cooking, just make sure you're putting things away. We're done with the sauces and the oils. And so we are about done. So let's go ahead and turn this off. And here we go. Now, for those of us who are really concerned with germs, I will go ahead and cut these pieces on a clean plate for you. And take them out. So this is my tofu. They look delicious. They're nice and golden brown. Nice texture. I really like crispy. Love, love crispy as much as possible. Okay, so they're done. You're gonna watch me taste one of these before I pop them into the marinade. That's finished there. I think everything is off. Okay. So with these, you can make this tofu anytime. I actually, when I make my salad during the day, I don't even put tofu on my salad. Tofu is a treat for me. So I would put this on like a weekend salad. Salad I would have on Saturday or Sunday. But usually the salad that I make is everything in this bowl minus the tofu. Okay? So, let's see what it tastes like. It tastes delicious. The flavor is great. Tofu is always known to not have any flavor. It's bland. Doesn't really have much to say. But when you add the right things in there, plus a spot of lemon, that flavor will pop. So now I'm going to cut these into thirds. Just cut them through. If you do not want to add marinade to all of your tofu strips, that is completely okay, because perhaps you might want to have some kind of breakfast sandwich with your tofu. You can do that. Or maybe you want to add it to another kind of dish or a rice bowl or something like that. You can do whatever you would like with your tofu. This is just preparing it so that no matter what you do, whether it's naked like this or tossed in a marinade, the flavor of your tofu is going to be so good. This tofu is delicious. And this is our thicker piece. So, I'm going to add some more lemon, Get that nice worked in there. And then just to make sure every crevice of my tofu has some kind of sauce on it, I'm going to take this top and just shake it. Okay, so you're going to take this here, make sure it's good, and now the moment of truth. is time to plate. So here's my salad. As you can see here, delicious salad. I'm gonna take pieces of my tofu and just add it to my salad. This is such a good meal. You will not be disappointed. If you do not like the level of sodium, as you notice, I did not add any additional salt, but a lot of this does have its own form of sodium in it. You can remove or add as much as you like based on your dietary needs, but I think this is enough. So from here, again, I'm going to taste a piece of tofu with the marinade. You can add dressing. I usually don't add a lot because once you add all this to it, the flavor just kind of permeates throughout the salad. You have so many things going on in this salad that there's not really a need for a lot of dressing. And before I eat this, I make sure that I get one more sprinkle of Mrs. Dash just to bring out the flavors. And then one more squeeze of lemon. So let's see what this tastes like. And I also want a piece of tofu on this as well. We got a piece of lettuce and a piece of tofu. This is a full bite right here. That is so good. So many flavors, so much stuff. It's like a goodie bag of a salad. You will be full by the end. You're trying to lose weight, this is a salad you need to eat. If you're trying to gain weight, again, this is a salad you should eat. Very healthy, gets the job done. Your tongue will thank you. Well, that's it. I'm going to prep this salad for later after my triathlon practice. And whatever I don't finish, I'll just save it for tomorrow. I hope you learned a lot from this first episode. Please leave comments, suggestions at the bottom in the comment section. As I continue with my videos, I really hope that they are fine-tuned, that we can get them to a working half an hour segment, maybe less, maybe 20 minutes, but it just really all depends on the needs of my audience. So thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next week. This is Lemon Girl Fresh saying, enjoy being vegan, healthy, and strong. Take care.